Welcome back to Horses of Courses. I'm Tania.
I'm Susanna.
And we are coming to you with is this our August podcast?
Yes, it is August.
I know, but were we recording this for September?
No, this is for August.
Oh, because I don't know what day it is, what time of day it is. We've just wrapped up ATFO.
Remember, we only got July in on July 31st.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay, so
because I kept saying there's 4 days left in July. There's 3 days left in July. Do you know what day it is today?
Oh, okay. So we've established it is for August.
It's August.
We've wrapped up the 10th ATFO.
We look like we've been rode hard and put up wet.
So wet. I feel moldy.
You smell moldy, too.
I feel moldy. You know what was funny about this?
That you're moldy?
Well, so this was 9 years of the ATFO, but our 10th ATFO. Right?
I don't know. I'm too tired.
Because they kicked off in 2017. But we kept saying 10 years of ATFO. I even think that's what the program says. But it's 10 ATFOs.
Do
but
we
our
do
9th
one
year.
twice a year?
No, but like, is it my math?
I don't know. I'm too tired to sort through that.
I think it's our 10th.
I mean, you were calling last year's the 10th one, and then we were like, it's not the 10th one. You said, the heck it isn't, and I said, it isn't.
We had to count them. So, either way, for sure, it was the 10th ATFO.
I don't know.
It was a hard year, but we want to let you guys know that we have the Ride for Rescue coming up on Labor Day weekend at Elkins Creek in Pedro, Ohio. We're finalizing some details. It's a good time. I suspect we'll have nice weather.
Have you secured a place to sleep yet?
I did tell Jill I would like a cabin, but I have not confirmed that I have one.
There's not going to be a cabin for you on Labor Day weekend,
probably
you
will
kook.
Not be. But if you've never been, it's one of the top places to camp with your horse in the U.S. It's always on all kinds of lists, and it's very nice. So if you're hearing this and you're wanting something to do to close your summer out, which is wild that we're talking about heading into fall, but that's what we're doing.
I'm watching leaves fall, though. Off and on, there's a couple yellow ones falling out of that tree. I am sleeping in a gypsy wagon because I planned ahead and I have a place to sleep.
I don't know where I will lay my head, but we'll have meals on Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday evening, live music Saturday, and ride at your leisure. The trails are really nicely maintained, and then we do a live auction of all kinds of items, and that's usually a lot of fun.
No horses, though.
No horses, just items, and I think of myself during that as pretty funny.
You ought to see what I'm bringing this year for the funny item. Oh my gosh.
Well,
I'm going to send you a picture when I get home. You're going to crack up.
Well, so if you all want to know what it is, you'll have to turn out. You can find information on that on our social medias and website. We're going to hop right into our topic on horse care, and we're talking about having a strict farrier schedule and why that can actually not be good.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, when they put applications in, they'll say my farrier comes every 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And there are horses that can go 10 weeks depending on your terrain and if the farrier is doing a good job and they're wearing their feet well, but there are horses that can't. And what if you have 6 horses and you just say, well, 10 weeks is what we're doing, but some of those horses, there's not a one-size-fits-all time frame for farrier care.
Right. Yeah, no. It depends on how the horse travels and definitely what kind of terrain you have. Sometimes the breed of the horse, the nutrition of the horse as it was growing up, because if a horse didn't get nutrition as it was growing and maturing, then a lot of times they have a whole lifetime of shelly, cruddy feet. Sometimes you can correct it, but sometimes not. This nutrition is very important for feet. So it just, so many variables there. Your weather, do you live in the desert? Because if you live in the desert kind of place where everything's kind of that gritty sand stuff, those feet tend to last a lot longer than if you live here in the east where it's raining every 6 days and your horses are always kind of in a wet, soggy pasture or paddock or even muddy.
Right. And so look at tailoring your time frame to each individual horse, and that may mean your farrier's stopping by every 4 weeks for one horse, and maybe the other, the herd mate, maybe every 8 weeks works. But don't err on the side of, well, it's easier and go to whatever that extended window is, because you're really not doing your horse any favors. And I am surprised constantly at how they're riding their horses and what their feet look like, length, and you ask, like, well, they were done 8 weeks ago, and clearly this horse's foot is showing you that's not acceptable.
And if you have a horse that's metabolic and you're letting the feet go like that, you're setting him up to be much more prone to laminitis, because stretched out feet and a metabolic problem is just a double recipe for disaster.
Yeah, so just really consider what each horse needs. Every horse can't be on an 8-week schedule. Many horses can't be on a 10, 12-week schedule. And then
we had an applicant the other day that said she gets her horses trimmed twice a year. I'm like,
which I do want to tell myself. That's about how often the 2 horses at my house need done. But I have 23 acres, and it's just a cliff, and they go up and down this mountain all day, all night. And so, I mean, it just depends. Here at the rescue, most horses are about every 4 weeks. In the winter, it's more in the 6 week for most of these horses, but you just can't have a hard timeline that you've decided. The horse's foot's going to show how often it needs done. So
educate yourself too, because sometimes this is out of ignorance, because you think that's a perfectly acceptable shape of a foot, and it's not actually what a hoof is supposed to look like.
Oh, very few people actually know what a foot is supposed to look like.
Yes. If you want to really educate yourself, get the Ultimate Hoof book. That book is wonderful and very easy to understand.
So we usually talk about a way that you can help the rescue, donated items, things we need. I'll tell you what we really, really need going into fall and winter in order to be able to help and more horses. We're going to have to build our foster program. If you are in a situation where fostering is possible, we really do need more fosters. We have a lot of fosters, but there are a lot of horses in need. With the ATFO, a lot of horses didn't come along quite the way we had hoped, and that leaves more horses back at the facility. I do want to mention a lot of our trainers took back fosters that they didn't even train. We were really fortunate. Hannah Brown and her mom, Angie, took back Laurel to continue to work with. That was not their training horse. They also adopted Rhapsody, which was Hannah's training horse. But Bethany McNett took her horse back. Adam took his horse back. Several of the whippersnapper trainers took their babies back. But Maribeth Pepler took Rojo, who was not her training horse. And Allison Mattis took a Narrow, which I really liked that. So think about fostering. You don't have to be a trainer. Sometimes, like, these babies just need some handling and a place to grow up. Sometimes,
and farrier care.
Yeah, I mean, and care. But think about whether you can foster. It is at all expenses, including your fuel to even pick a foster up. It's all tax deductible. So that's the bedding. Anything that you're providing is a tax deduction, and that is helpful to some folks. So think about whether you can foster. I foster. Susanna fosters most of our...
I'm a foster. You're a foster. He's a foster. She's a foster. Wouldn't you like to be a foster too?
We're going to sing that and put it on YouTube. It's the most important part of Heart of Phoenix is the foster program.
That'd be a funny reel.
It would.
Yeah.
Susanna has been... what would I say?
I got to pick the horse to talk about.
Yeah, she's mentioned this many times. So I was like, okay, this is the one. And it was timely because somebody snapped a cute picture with you with this little pony over the weekend, and she was part of our national anthem ceremony opening the ATFO.
Yes, and she looked really cute going around there with her little English kid.
Yeah. Sadie did a great job. So who is this mystery horse?
It's Echo.
And I don't know. I mean, I know her story, but I wasn't really involved as far as like seeing her until she was a little further along. So you've got this one. I don't know much about it. So
she's a Happy Hackney. She's a ha-ha. I'm tired.
You know we have some followers that hate calling them halfies.
I know.
What does halfie stand for?
Hofflinger.
Yeah,
She's a Hofflinger hackney.
Yeah.
And she and her mother escaped from a fence one time when Echo was about 7 months old.
Before they were with Hop,
before
with
they
the previous
were
owner.
Yeah. And the mama ran out in front of a car, and unfortunately all 4 of her legs were catastrophically damaged. And she had to be euthanized by the sheriff on site, who was not a horse person, and he was just going to shoot the baby as well. And I don't know how Morgan happened to be around. She had my daughter and her daughter in her truck somehow and happened to be around and said, "Don't do that. We'll catch them." Ran home and got her, we'll catch her. Ran home and got her trailer really fast. And ultimately, she and Riley and Dixie got her into the trailer. And part of it was Riley stood in the human door making whinnying noises. And for some reason, Echo came to the trailer for that. I guess she was looking for her mom. Yeah. I don't know. So that was how they got her close to the trailer. And so then we turned her into a Hop horse because the owner was like, well, I can't fix that fence good enough to keep him in. And he was afraid he was going to get charged anyway. Because in a lot of states, if you have a horse escape your fence and it causes a car wreck, you actually are liable for that, and your cows as well. So he was afraid that he was going to get charges anyway, so he just turned her over. And she was adorable.
She is adorable. But what? And I can't remember. She was fostered at Sunnybell Stables a while.
Well, Dixie took her for a little while and got her handled because she really wasn't handled. She was just kind of face pettable. So Dixie took her for a little while and got her handled. Then she came to my house after she was handled. And then Sunnybell said they wanted to try and make her a jumping pony, but she got injured.
And then she came back to us a while.
And then she came back to us for a while and rehabbed from the injury. And then Bethany adopted her.
Yeah, Bethany had a client who adopted her first for years.
Oh, that's right. And then they outgrew her.
And then Bethany really liked her and kept her.
Yeah.
So this has been years ago, probably 10 years.
I don't remember how old she is. Really.
It's probably been close to 10. But what's nice is when you're able to see them out in the community. I mean, she goes and shows, and she's local to the main facility, so we've just been able to follow her for what's now been. See
if I can figure out how old she is.
Probably a decade, but adorable pony.
So cute.
And the little gal riding her, Sadie, Bethany McNutt's daughter, is adorable as well, and just a wonderful little horse girl. So being able to watch them show at the ATFO this weekend was really very rewarding.
Yeah.
I'll talk a little bit about the ATFO. I think we need time to recover. It just ended last night. It did not go, the way we had hoped. Attendance was, it's been on the decline. The economy is it's rough, and...
Oh, Olivia had her for a while, too.
Oh, Olivia Dixon had her a while. I forgot about that.
I forgot about that.
Did she start her for us? And then send her to Sunnybell.
It looks like it.
What year was that? 2016?
2016 is when she started her.
Yeah, so that would have happened in 2015, so she's 11 at least.
She's 7 months when we caught her, so.
Yeah. So the ATFO, it didn't go the way we wanted, but I tell you, it was just a really good group of trainers that were cheerful and willing, even at the end with it being rough, to take extra horses back. And just that's, at the end of the day, that's the kind of stuff we want to see. And you find out who people really are when things are hard and not happy. And if that's the case, which I know that it is, then we found out there was an awful lot of good horse people that are part of what we do. And that is, that's really what matters most.
She's a 2013.
What? Oh, I guess because we'd have let her grow up.
Yeah.
Gosh, so 13 years old.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Gosh, time really goes.
Oh,
she was pre-ATFO.
Yeah. Wow.
That's kind of nuts.
I know Riley was really little when she whinnied her in the trailer.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. So 13-year-old story there.
Still around, still adorable.
Doing great.
Yeah.
And we're still keeping up with her, and we always will. we wanted to talk about something that's pretty controversial. I thought of this, I think, last month, and will message back and forth and keep these topics. And we want to talk.
This is a topic that really punches my buttons.
It really grinds your gears.
It
grinds your gears.
It does.
I think Susanna has more to say on this one than I do, but I have some comments. But it's the truth about the Amish, and it's probably not going to be what you think.
It's not going to be what you think.
Yeah. So people have, for one, I mean, if you have a group of people that don't live real public lives, it makes people, I think, suspicious. And so it's easy to come up with stuff. And we're not saying, at the end of this, like, we're not saying all Amish are great, any more than I'm saying all people who live in West Virginia are great or anything like that. So what we would say is that, sorry there, we had to pause and move our truck.
Cracked on our window.
We're not saying that all people in West Virginia are great. All people in the Amish aren't great. All people in Kentucky aren't great. But, stereotypes, especially
stereotypes are damaging.
They can be damaging, and I know there can be truth. Sometimes stereotypes exist because there's truth to it. But when you have a society that is not real public, then I think it's a little more, people get real creative. My experience with the Amish is that when we've had horses turned over by the Amish, they've been in nice shape. They've been serviceably sound, and they have gone on to mostly be adoptable. I also know that the veterinarian for Heart of Phoenix covers 3 states. He services a lot of Amish communities in Ohio especially. And Dr. Walker says his experience with all of those communities is that they provide better care than his other clients.
Because they depend on them.
Yes. He says that one of the stories he says is, if he treats an eye and tells his Amish clients, put these drops in 6 times a day, they will, if anything, err on the side of doing more and run out and call him needing more. Whereas if it's another client, not in the Amish community, he'll go back and see the horse and they never even put the drops in. I mean, he's just a no-nonsense kind of a guy. He's like, I just factually, as a vet, the communities I serve, it tends the Amish take better care of their horses. And I just think people need to know that. Dr. Walker has no reason to say that unless it's just the case. And he's just telling me. So that's been my experience. But Susanna has a lot more direct experience.
Yeah, so I live in the 3rd largest Amish community in the United States. So because they're very spread out in my area, because we're so rural, people don't realize how many Amish are in my area. But where I started interacting with the Amish was I was getting a certain feed that I ordered at a feed store that was owned by the Amish, and he was asking me why I buy that feed, and I was like, well, because it's heads and tails better nutritionally for your horse, and these are the reasons why. He talked to me for about a half an hour, and he said, I'm going to start carrying that and start talking to people and see how that goes. So he did start carrying it. He got a bunch of Amish to start using it, and they really liked the results. But the funny thing about the Amish is when something like that happens, they start writing to their relatives in other communities in other states, because a lot of times Amish move from one community to another to find a new pool of marriageable people or to start a new community or something like that. So they started writing to their family members in other states and got them to try switching their feed, and everybody switched from sweet feed to, well, not everybody, but obviously a good deal of them switched from sweet feed to this feed and really liked the results with their horses. So that was my first positive experience. But then I had an Amish farrier who came to my work, and I started telling him that we would like to take in some standard breds. He started calling me with the standard breds, and everyone but one has been serviceably sound, and they genuinely didn't know that one was not. I mean, when he was dropped off at my house, he was sound also. But
well, and they've been in nice shape, nice horses, and older horses. So the reason that matters is these were not young horses. I mean, these were horses 17, 16, 19. that had been in work and kept and maintained in a way that they were in nice shape,
and they literally said they can still pull our buggies, but we feel like at their age the concussion would start to be too much on them because they do have to drive on the roads.
And they weren't wanting them to get to the point that they weren't comfortable.
Right.
And they trusted us, and we didn't pay for these horses.
No.
And there are stories, and I know there are true stories. We have gotten some horses from Amish situations that weren't great. Not a lot, but we just want people to know you have to determine in each unique setting. Much like we're saying you can't paint every horse with the same farrier schedule, you can't paint every Amish community negatively because there are plenty of Amish communities out there where one of the folks we know really well that does so much with us, he's often said how it would be considered disgraceful in his Amish community if you didn't take care of your animals. That was important.
Remember the story that I told you about the teenage boy who his dad told him not to race his horse because it's a big deal when you're a teenager. It's like getting your first car, when you get your first buggy and your first horse. And he raced his horse and concussed its feet so bad it had to be euthanized. And the whole Amish community was really in an uproar at this boy. And I can't remember what they call it. It's like, they call it something like sanctioning. I don't remember. He wasn't shunned, but he was like disciplined by the bishop, I think is what happened. He was disciplined by the bishop for his terrible care of his horse.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't like to see when we post, every now and again, we posted about accepting a horse from the Amish, or if we post that something negative happened to a horse, people will come and say, I bet it was the Amish. And I'm like, the Amish had nothing to do with this.
Yeah, it was an Englisher's horse, actually.
And I mean, so there are, we deal with a lot more Englishers than we do Amish, but, per capita of horses that have come in, I mean, almost everything that's been terribly mistreated came from regular folks living casual lives with horses, not Amish communities.
But now you say this and they'll be like, but the puppy mills!
Well, and
there are so many English puppy mills!
There are plenty of puppy mills ran by people who are not Amish, and
we just did a 104 dog puppy mill case with the dog rescue that I fostered for that was an English person in the county next to me.
Right. I mean, so I know there are Amish puppy mills, and that is something that happens. There are English folks running puppy mills. Puppy mills are a bad deal. That does make me think, though, about the Amish man who turned over that litter of blue heeler puppies to us to keep them safe. He didn't want his dog to have puppies.
No.
She went with him everywhere.
Yep.
Rode in his buggy, or he was with a driver. Maybe she rode with him, but and it ended up that she did get pregnant, had these puppies, and he brought them to Susanna for us to safely place.
Yeah,
and I have one. I have one male. So, just remember when you're saying things, you can't paint a whole group of people.
Well, then there was those 2 times that Amish people used their driver's phone to call me because they knew I was from Heart of Phoenix, because they had been driving their buggies out on a back road and they were starving horses and they wanted us to do something about it. Right. Which, just like normal people, people don't realize rescues can't go seize a horse.
We don't have legal authority.
But they were appalled at both of these horses being starved and wanted us to go do something about it.
And I think people, they don't like the fact that the Amish use horses. But my dad was born in 1923, and they used horses, and he was a very kind man toward animals. He raised Bainey chickens because they're just pets, and he had no interest in raising chickens for food my whole life when I was growing up, and he was already in his 60s and 70s. So just because you use animals to plow or to be your mode of transportation, in theory that should make you more appreciative of what they do and what they mean to you, and more valuable. And
which is what our vet says happens.
That's what he says.
They're very valuable to them, and they do the best they can to take care of them. In most places, just like Englishers, there are pockets of not very nice Amish, and there are lots of pockets of not very nice Englishers.
Right. And so we just wanted to present that other side, because people will assume as a rescue that we have a negative view of the Amish. And I mean, I have to know you and how you take care of your horse before I have a view at all. I mean, I have no business having a view if I don't know how you take care of your horses. But we have been in a situation where we've had good experiences. And so I think it's just worth knowing that. I don't want to cast a shadow over a group of people that we have found to be fair to their horses and in fact their dogs. So that's been our experience. We are tired, so I think we're going to wrap it up.
I've got a long drive.
Susanna's got to drive all the way back to like 4.5 hours to her house. This might be our shortest podcast yet, but that's all right. Until next time, I'm Tania.
I'm Susanna.
And that's Horses of Courses.